WrestleMania weekend is over. Oh my goodness, what an event. What an event. From an entertainment standpoint, from a fan experience standpoint, from a business standpoint. What a deal. So, I'm going to share this from my perspective. I grab my son, take him a day out of school, fly out to Las Vegas. Now, we bring the girls too. He's got a sister and my hot-ass wife. The whole family goes to Vegas, but it's just my son and I that are going to go to Mania. My wife hasn't watched before. My daughter hasn't watched. Their time to go do mother-daughter stuff. So, it's a 2-day event, right? It's Friday, Saturday. So, and it's got to be Friday, Saturday. I didn't look this up, but I don't need to look it up. It's got 71,000 tickets, which nobody can sell on a Sunday. By the way, Sunday happens to be a world-recognized holiday. So I don't need to go to the internet. I know it's 2 days, but I know it's Friday, Saturday because it's not going to be Sunday. Ugh. Turns out it was Sunday. Now, as a father, that is a colossal mistake to make. To tell your son you're taking him to Mania, to have your son looking it up, and he's got his t-shirt on and the whole bit, and to show up to the arena on Friday, of which nobody's at. Not a single person. Not a security guard, not a lot guy, not a nobody. It turns out it's not even, oh, that's SmackDown. That SmackDown's going on across town. Back to the place where the Raiders play. Got to go back on Saturday. Okay, now, I should mention for you, this isn't a matter of just changing it. I don't have a hotel, and I already got plane tickets home on Sunday, and Friday is the JV team. I'm good with that. I'm good with the whole thing. It just is what it is. So I go out to a WrestleMania, and you want to talk about organized. Oh, my goodness. They brought in 71,000 people. They got every damn one of them a hot dog and a Coke and a popcorn without really waiting in that bad of lines. Every one of them when they needed to use a restroom, just for example, or they wanted to grab a t-shirt for their way out. The lines really weren't that bad. Like, they had a way of running this system. And it was so impressive. Now, I'm going to name drop for you, but the section that I get put in, I'm right next, my son is right next to me, but touching shoulders with him is the guy that stars in This Is Us. Turns out is a total gentleman. 3 doors down from him is Colby. Colby comes over, gives my son a big hug right when he gets there. 2 doors down from me is the co-star, not Michael Cranston, the co-star in Breaking Bad. Directly in front of me is Rick Rubin and Jelly Roll. And I know that I'm name dropping, but that was my point. But this was the kind of section we're in. Now, I will always play it cool, but I will always be watching, judging famous people and the way they will treat other people that come up to say hello. And in my life, if I have seen it done more graciously than Jelly Roll, I can't remember it. And Rick Rubin was a mark himself, by the way. I mean, he was pulling his phone out and filming it, like sending it to buddies that weren't there. It was cool. WrestleMania is just something cool. Now, let's get to the actual walk. WrestleMania has somehow convinced the world, and I'm glad that they did this, and it wouldn't hurt my feelings if Dana went and borrowed this from them, but WrestleMania has convinced the world that the big match, the main match, the top match goes first. There are certain times I would love that in UFCs. I really would. It does a number of things. It does a number of things, but it is so cool. Right? When you're there and you're anticipating, you're looking forward to something, and they start advertising it for, they're double, triple, quadruple advertising it to as the night goes on. Like, it does create for a really fun moment, but it was interesting the way the Triple H and WWE put Uso, your feature match, as the first match, because one thing that does is it packs the building. All of a sudden, you don't have an empty building that's coming in at the end, which, by the way, I find very annoying. They do that in boxing. I cannot believe boxing lets them do it. It is one of the most boxing is a very disrespected sport. Boxers are very disrespected, but it's boxing leadership that allows these people, including the famous and whoever their mistress is, because they all leave their wife at home. When they fly into town, they bring her in, and she's dressed like $1 million and has professional hair and makeup on. They don't even bring that slut in until the final seat. She should take her fat ass and go home. You shouldn't even be welcome, and it does get me upset. They don't know who the main event is. They don't want to be there, and they've disrespected the entire undercard, and boxing leadership lets them do it. Well, how's boxing leadership really going to stop that? Well, Triple H did. Triple H held something called Royal Rumble, and he promised the winner of it headlines WrestleMania, and he found Uso, and he put him as the first match, and then goes, well, yeah, that's the headlining spot. The top spot is the one that opens the card. And it was a scam, and it was great. And I was going to show up late. I was going to come in later. I was actually texting with Colby, hey, what time, what do you think? Should we get there around 6? And then we're texting each other, we're like, hey, world title, Uso, first one of the night, 4 o'clock, we better be there for that. And we were, and so was 71,000 other people. It was just an interesting thing. Now, I want to tell you this. I don't know what part of it I'm a mark and what part is accurate, but allegedly, the way the story goes, there have been certain matches where when they've left the locker room, hit the ramp, got to the ring, first bell dings, whoever was supposed to win, there's certain matches where they have switched it. Where the guy in Gorilla radios down to the referee and tells him the guy going over is now going under, and the referee's got to tell him, hey, you're getting pinned, hey, you're going over, it's going to be with a body slam, and it's going to be after a Broadway. Allegedly, that has happened. And I believe it to be true, and when your main event came on Friday, the loudest pop of the night, not maybe, noticeably, the loudest pop of the night went to CM Punk. Now, I show up there as a Punk fan and as a Paul Heyman guy. I want Punk to go over, but I must tell you, I don't think he's going to. There's just too many things, too many opportunities that Punk has already had, just for example. And we got a big problem, which is Roman is here. Roman is here in Mania, Rock's on the board. They love to bring out some big star. For the second night, if they're going to do a star, they're going to do Ric Flair, which they may not do because he may not be big enough, and it is Mania. But you got The Rock somewhere. You got Roman. There's going to be a run-in. CM Punk isn't going to win. But I want him to. I want him to. And when they do the walkout and I hear that Punk gets the loudest reception, that's where the mark in me goes, hey, wait a minute. I don't think that was supposed to happen. They might change this at Gorilla, and now Hope is alive. But the one thing that this WrestleMania did, it was awesome. But if I was to be critical, and it did change the night for me and my son, everybody, there's a 100% statement, and the bad news is we picked up on it early. Everybody who won the most spots of the match lost the match. And that will happen here and there. There isn't really a Mania where the same theme gets played out in every single match, but it did this time, and we picked up on it early. So when we did get to the main event, the triple threat match, and we notice that Roman and Punk are going at it, and that Seth Rollins, he's laid out in the corner. He's not even part of it. He hasn't touched anybody. He hasn't been seen on camera. When we realize that's when we know that Seth is going to win, just because they did it with every spot of the night. I mean, they did it so blatantly in the LA Night match. Just for example, they did it in every single spot of the night. And Seth Rollins, let's go back to him. You would have Hollywood award. I don't know the difference between the Grammys and the Oscars. One of them is for acting, and one of them is for singing. Whatever it is, whatever the one is for acting, you would have winners of that would have to stand back. Seth Rollins did so good. CM Punk got the pop of the night. That's true. The performer of the night was Seth Rollins, and it was amazing. If you want to just go back and watch one thing, I mean, if you want to see a true genius at work, forget about pro wrestling and think about an entertainer. All you got to do is go back and watch the way Seth Rollins accepts the chair from Paul Heyman. There is so much going on in that moment of absolute chaos for Seth to compartmentalize. And there's 20 other spots I could point to. The pure best actor, the pure best performer is also the one that went over, and that's Seth. And if you just want one piece of proof, you just go back and rewind and you watch how Seth accepts the chair from Paul Heyman. You will see Juilliard-trained professionals that would not be able to pull that spot off. Overall, WrestleMania was great. Turns out, when it's a 2-day event that does include Sunday, and it doesn't matter if that's a holiday, that's something that I was not aware of.